Hello YouTube, it's Carlos the Rook, and I'm bringing you round 2 from North Atlanta Chess Club January Championship. In this round I'm playing white against Aditya Bang. I'm rated 1781 and Aditya is 1908. So I start off e4 and he goes c6, so we got another K-Roll Khan, that's 2 in a row. I go d4, d5, e5, this is advanced variation. I'm waiting to see if he's going to go bishop b5 or c5. He plays bishop b5, so I go into my h4 variation, h5, bishop d3, bishop captures, queen captures, e6, bishop g5 hitting the queen, and now he plays knight e7. This is a sideline. The most popular move is queen b6 or bishop e6. Or bishop e7. So knight e7 is a sideline. And here I play knight f3, knight d7. So I go knight on b to d2. This is the best move in the position. He plays queen a5. Here I castle, breaking the pin on the knight. And he plays knight a5. So this comes out of book. Hold on, let me put the analysis chess base on. Okay. Here he plays knight f5. I think this is the first move that breaks from out of book. No, the engine says knight f5 is good. It likes knight f5 and queen a6, both of them. So he played knight f5. And here it wants me to play, I think, a3. But I wasn't sure what to play here, so I went for a theme I knew, which was c4. And it's the fourth best move in the position. So I went c4. He goes bishop e7. And it wanted me to capture the bishop on e7. In most of these positions we do not capture. We let him capture and bring our knight into the fray. So bishop captures is what Stockfish wanted. Bishop captures, knight captures, queen b3. Followed by queen b6, queen d3. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. So I went a3 instead, and my idea is b4 hitting the queen. So he goes queen d8, and here I just moved too fast. I didn't properly assess the threat of knight captures h4, because after I moved in, I seen that this pawn was a liability. So I just moved too fast. I went b4. And now knight captures h4. Bishop captures. Bishop captures. Knight captures. The queen captures. And here it wants c captures d5. C captures. Rook to c1. Castle. Rook c7. Infiltrating the black position. But I played rook on f to e1, and my idea was to do a rook lift. So if we go back and see what they wanted, here, 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 castle, and rook c7 infiltrating the black position. And black has to play knight b6. Rook captures b7. That's the line Stockfish wanted. But I went rook f e1, and my idea was to bring a rook lift and stop any ideas of kingside castling. And he went queen e7. So I went a4, and my idea is if the queen captures, the rook comes over, the queen has to go back, and the rook comes in with a devastating effect. So he didn't fall for the bait. He castled. And here Stockfish wants a5. But I played b5 instead. And he played g6, securing his king side. So I went rook e3. And my idea is rook g3, queen f3, and start an attack on the king side, maybe even an f4. He goes king g7. And here I should have played c5, locking the position. And then it would have had a closed pawn structure in the middle. And then I could have went f4. And Stockfish wants either a5 or c5 with equality. I played f4 first, and that's just completely wrong. I was just so dead set on attack, and after I made that move, I was like, shoot, I should have played c5 first, locking the position. Because what it did, it allowed him to play c5 in return. So now I can't do a kingside attack with an open center. So I go rook g3, lining up against the king. Stockfish doesn't like that move. It gives a question mark. He captures. And I capture on d5. Force him to double up pawns. And my idea wasn't to capture back, because then his queen goes here and he forces a trade. I wanted to do something different. My idea, queen f3. And now I'm hitting this pawn, and going all the way through to that pawn. So he goes rook h8 to defend. Stockfish wanted knight c5. That's interesting. Stockfish wanted knight c5, rook e1, d3. That's what Stockfish wanted. Just giving up that pawn. That's interesting. But the deep yaw went rook h8. And I take the pawn on d5. He goes h4, hitting the rook, asking me where I'm going to put the rook. And here I wasn't sure. Do I want the rook to h3, f3, or a3? So I end up going with h3 because I didn't want the pawn to push further. And he goes knight b6, hitting the queen. I capture on d4. The position is equal. You bring the rook over. That's what I figured he'd do. And I drop the queen back to f2. That knight's protected. And you go queen b4, hitting the knight and the pawn at the same time. And here I made a mistake. Knight b3 was the move to hold the position. And it's a dead draw with knight b3. But I went knight f3. Queen captures f4, giving up another pawn. And here Stockfish says e6, and the position is equal. But I went a5, hitting the knight. The knight comes to c4. And once again, Stockfish wants e6. But I went queen captures a7. And my queen's protecting the diagonal from checks. And I just want to create a passed pawn on the queen side and see if I can get that in. Stockfish says e6 feels hotter. e6 knight to d2, rook e1, rook d3, knight e5. That's what Stockfish wanted. Ain't no human gonna play that. That's just outrageous. I went queen captures a7. The knight takes on e5. I take back. Queen captures e5. And here I almost blundered. The rook is under attack. And my initial thing was to move to f1. But I'm also looking at ideas of getting an a6 in, queen capturing, trying to find something. But I correctly moved rook on f1. That's the only move here. Queen captures, giving up another pawn. So now it's 4 pawns against 2. And I'm bringing this rook to on h to f3, and I'm hitting f7. Stockfish wants f5 here. That's just bold. He brings up rook d7. And here I just wasn't sure what to do. I seen rook captures, rook captures, rook captures, king captures, and there's nothing going here. So that doesn't work. But what I missed is instead of rook captures, it's queen check here. And king to g8. Queen d8 check. King to g7. It's back queen d4 check. And like it's a perpetual. Because if the king moved here, you lose that rook. Let me show that. If the king moves here, this is winning for white because you lose this rook. King h6, you losing that rook. So the king can't move. And if the king falls here, you just keep checking. You just keep checking. So this was a perpetual check. The king can't go anywhere else he'd get mated. He'd lose a rook and end up getting mated. So that's what I missed, the queen d4. I went king h1 instead. I just missed the perpetual. And my instincts were screaming rook captures f7, but I didn't know why. And he moves up with h3. And I respond g3. Queen b2. Stockfish doesn't like that. It wants queen f2 to respond. I went rook on 3 to f2, hitting the queen. And Stockfish doesn't like that. Black has a winning position now. Queen e5. Queen c3. King h2. Stopping them from getting in on g3. That was the threat. Stockfish wants rook e8. But he played rook h5. And that lost majority of his advantage, at least half of it. And here it has a6 as an only move. And I play a6. Rook g5. It wanted queen a5. So it wanted queen a5. With the idea of rook on h to d5 in order to get the win. And here queen b8 is necessary. Bishop captures a6. Queen b2 check. King g8. Queen b8 check. Rook d8. Then queen a7. And f7 has fallen. Rook f5. Rook captures, g captures. So that's losing. So hold on. So queen b2, king g8. That's only 0.48. Queen b8 check. So queen b8 is wrong. Oh, it's queen f6 here. Queen f6, not queen b8. Then it's queen c5. And queen captures a6. That's the move that keeps the draw. So that was the move to keep the draw. So he went rook g5. And here I didn't know what to do. I had the threat is the queen is coming in here. Taking that with check. So Stockfish wants A captures B7. Just let him come in. Queen captures G3. King H1. Queen at G2 check. Queen G2 check. Rook captures G2. H captures G2 check. King to G1. King captures F1. Rook to F5 check. King to G1. And rook F6. Oh, he's gonna try and double up on the pawn? That's what Stockfish wanted. That's very, very, very interesting. But I played rook G1. I didn't think I could let the queen come in here with the check. I didn't think that was safe. For queen A5, I went to E3. Hold on. Yeah, E3, and I'm just completely losing here. Bishop, pawn captures on A6. I double up the rooks. Queen D5. I go to C3 check. He blocks. And I go to B3, threatening. As you see, I'm threatening to get in there. He blocks. Queen C3 check again. And here he plays King H7. So the Indian wants Queen B2 here. But I went Rook E1. And that's my idea. Rook E8. And then checkmate on H8. So he plays Rook F5 to stop that. And he's threatening to take here. So I move up to protect that rook. And now he goes rook e7, which Stockfish gives double exclamations. Because he's threatening to take that. If I take that, he take that. So I just basically slid a rook over to threaten the queen. And he moves the queen over. And now I'll move the queen over to hit the rook. So now I'm threatening to take this rook. If you take with the queen, he lose that rook. So that forces him to take with the pawn. Just trying to break up his structure, see if I can find anything to disrupt what he's trying to do. And he plays queen e3, which Stockfish says is the draw. Queen captures, rook captures, pawn captures. And here it wants rook a2. Rook a2. Being almost an only move. Just get in front of the pawn. What did I do? I went to the side, didn't I? Yeah, I went rook d5, threatening that pawn. He went king g6. And then I blundered here because I was short on time. I went king captures h3. And that was just a blunder. I allowed him to get in front of the rook. When I went here, he was able to step up. I think I went king g2, rook a1, king f2, and he started pushing the pawn. And I just wrote some moves down from what I kind of was guessing what happened, but I don't have the rest of the moves because we was both in time trouble and we was blitzing out our moves. Sorry about that. My alarm went off for my chess lesson. So we was blitzing off our moves, and I don't have the last of this game, but we went into a time scramble where pieces was getting knocked over and we just slamming on the clock. And it was really, really stressful at the end. But I had a drawn position and I just cracked under time pressure. Thank you for watching the video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's absolutely free. Tell your family and friends about it. Let's grow the channel. Thank you, YouTube. Have a nice day. Bye.